Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive with us. Today we're going to be tackling something kind of different.
Yeah, it's
And it really kind of flips the script on how we usually look at,
Mhm.
spirituality and, all that.
Yeah.
We're diving into the idea that Christ and Buddha
Right.
were originally titles,
Yes.
not names.
Exactly.
So we're looking at an excerpt
Okay.
that argues that these terms, Christ and Buddha,
Mhm.
signified a level of spiritual realization
Mhm.
that anyone could reach.
That's right, not just
Not just, one person.
exactly, not just one specific person.
Yeah, so my mind's already like
I know, right?
buzzing with questions.
It's a lot to take in.
Like, what does it even mean to be Christ or Buddha?
Yeah.
If we're talking about like states of being.
Right. So let's start with Christ.
Okay.
The source points out that the term comes from Christos,
Mm-hmm.
which is Greek for anointed one.
Okay.
And this wasn't, unique to Jesus.
No.
In ancient traditions, being anointed meant that you had reached like a certain level of spiritual development.
So it's less about like worshiping a person
Mm-hmm.
and more about embodying
Yes.
a certain way of being.
Exactly.
The excerpt even asks, what does it mean to be Christ?
Right. And the source suggests that, Christ consciousness
Okay.
is about this full present moment immersion,
Mm-hmm.
unconditional love,
Yeah.
surrendering the ego and aligning with a higher purpose.
It's like tapping into this like universal consciousness that connects us all.
Exactly.
But I gotta admit, it feels a bit different than how we usually think of Christ.
I get that.
With all the miracles and stuff.
Uh-huh. Well, and the source addresses that. It
Yeah.
suggests that those miracles were actually metaphors,
Okay.
pointing to deeper truths about like the nature of reality
Interesting.
and our potential as humans.
So instead of focusing on like the miraculous acts, we should be looking at the qualities that Jesus embodied
Yes.
as a model for our own spiritual growth.
Precisely.
Okay.
Because the source argues that we've put Jesus on such a pedestal
Yeah.
that we've made Christ consciousness seem like it's impossible for us mere mortals,
Right.
but recognizing that Christ is actually a role that anyone can fulfill,
Mm.
we empower ourselves to cultivate those same qualities of love and compassion and presence.
It's like we're not trying to become superhuman,
Right.
but we're trying to awaken to a potential that's already inside of us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that shift in perspective
Yeah.
allows us to approach the story of Jesus in a new light.
Go ahead.
We can honor it
Yeah.
while understanding that his life was a teaching,
Mm-hmm.
an example of what it means to embody this consciousness.
Okay, so if Christ is about tapping into this universal consciousness
Yeah.
through love and presence,
Uh-huh.
where does Buddha fit in? The source mentions Buddha also being a title,
Right.
meaning awakened one.
Yes.
But we know that there have been many Buddhas throughout history.
That's a key point.
Yeah.
Just like with Christ, Buddha isn't actually tied to a single person.
Okay.
The source makes this bold statement:
Right.
Buddha nature is not something that happened once,
Uh-huh.
but something happening now within you as you awaken.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's powerful.
it is.
It suggests that the potential for awakening isn't limited to,
right.
these historical figures,
Yeah.
but it's happening within each of us right now.
Yes, and
Yeah.
that's where the concept of Buddha nature comes in.
Okay.
The source describes it as like awakening from this illusion of separateness,
Mm-hmm.
escaping the cycle of suffering and realizing the interconnectedness of all things.
It's a similar journey to Christ consciousness,
It is.
but viewed through like a different lens.
Exactly.
So while Christ consciousness emphasizes love and connecting with that universal consciousness,
Mhm.
Buddha nature focuses on recognizing our inherent interconnectedness
Yes,
and freeing ourselves from suffering.
you got it.
So now I'm wondering, like, why have these terms been misunderstood for so long?
Right.
Why do we see them as names instead of titles?
Yeah, that's a great question.
What does the source say about that?
Well, it argues that it's a human tendency
Okay.
to create hierarchies and put people on pedestals.
Mm-hmm.
We make gods out of individuals who embody potential that we all have.
Yeah.
And we end up distancing ourselves from our own divinity in the process.
It's like we create this separation between them and us,
Exact.
and their achievements seem so unattainable.
Uh-huh. But if we see Christ and Buddha as titles,
Right.
it totally changes the narrative.
It reminds us that these qualities aren't just for a select few.
Mm-hmm.
They're accessible to everybody.
Yes.
It's a call to recognize our own potential for awakening.
Absolutely.
So we're not supposed to like worship these figures,
No.
but we should see them as examples of what's possible for all of us.
Like they're showing us the way,
Yeah.
but we have to walk the path ourselves.
They're like signposts pointing us
Mm.
towards our own potential.
That's a great analogy.
But like, how do we actually like embody these titles?
Right. Well, the Source breaks it down into two distinct but interconnected paths.
Okay, so let's dive into those paths.
Okay.
Starting with Christ consciousness.
All right.
The excerpt emphasizes cultivating love,
Mhm.
compassion, and forgiveness.
Yes.
But it also says that it's not about being perfect.
Right. It's not about reaching some flawless state of being.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that love
Yeah.
is the foundation of our true nature
Hmm.
and striving to embody it in our interactions with the world.
It makes it seem a lot less daunting
Yeah.
than I thought it would be.
I agree.
But the Source acknowledges that
Ah.
our human ego, with all its judgments and insecurities,
Right.
can make it challenging to practice that unconditional love.
It definitely goes against,
A lot of our ingrained patterns.
yeah, like how often do we
Super
judge
important.
others or get caught up in comparison or hold on to resentment?
All the time, right? It's like our default setting.
Yeah, so how do we shift that?
So the Source says the key is to cultivate a deeper awareness
Okay.
of ourselves and others.
Uh-huh.
It's about recognizing the divine spark in everyone.
Even the people who like.
Yes, even those who might trigger us or act in ways we don't understand.
So it's about choosing to see the good in others,
Yes, even when it's hard.
even when it's hard.
And it takes practice.
Yeah.
It's a conscious choice
Mm-hmm.
to respond with love instead of reacting with judgment.
Okay.
And the Source emphasizes that this love comes from spiritual awareness.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that we're all interconnected,
Yeah.
reflections of the same divine source.
That's profound.
It is.
It makes me wonder if practicing forgiveness and compassion for others
Mhm.
is actually a gift to ourselves as well.
Yeah, the Source definitely hints at that.
It suggests that by choosing love,
Mhm.
even when it's difficult,
Yeah.
we heal our own wounds and create more peace within ourselves.
Okay. So while Christ consciousness focuses on cultivating love,
Right.
the Source presents Buddha nature as a path of awakening to impermanence.
Mm-hmm.
What does that even mean?
So it means recognizing that everything in life is in constant flux.
Okay.
Our thoughts, our emotions, our bodies,
Mhm.
our experiences, they're all changing all the time.
And the Source says that suffering arises when we cling to things, thinking that they should stay the same.
When we resist that natural flow of change.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
We create our own suffering by holding on to expectations,
Hmm.
attachments, and this illusion of permanence.
Okay.
And the Source emphasizes that this doesn't mean that we should deny our humanity or withdraw from the world.
Uh-huh.
It's about seeing reality as it is.
Yeah.
Fluid, ever-changing, and beyond our control.
It sounds like we should embrace the present moment without judgment, accepting things as they are, even if they're not how we want them to be.
And the Source suggests that by releasing attachment,
Okay.
we discover this profound sense of peace.
So it doesn't mean that we stop caring,
No, not at all.
but we learn to care
Yay.
from a place of non-attachment.
Uh-huh. And that can actually lead to a deeper, more authentic kind of caring.
So letting go actually allows us to experience a more genuine connection
Exactly.
with ourselves and others.
That's the paradox.
Okay.
And the Source highlights mindfulness as a key practice for cultivating this non-attachment.
Being fully present in each moment.
Yes, observing our thoughts and emotions without judgment or clinging.
And recognizing that each moment is perfect as is.
Exactly, even amidst the chaos and change.
Okay, so we've got Christ consciousness, which is about cultivating love and connection.
Mm-hmm.
And then Buddha nature is about embracing impermanence
Right.
and practicing mindfulness.
Yeah.
These seem like two very different approaches to spiritual growth.
You'd think so, right?
Yeah.
But here's where it gets really fascinating.
All right.
The Source argues that these paths, while they are distinct,
Yeah.
they're not mutually exclusive.
Right.
In fact, they complement each other beautifully.
Wow.
So think of it this way.
Okay.
Christ consciousness is about unconditional love.
Yeah.
And Buddha nature is about non-attachment.
Okay.
One empowers us to connect deeply,
Mm-hmm.
and the other teaches us to let go.
Okay.
Together, they create this powerful spiritual balance.
So it's not about choosing one or the other,
No.
but it's about integrating both.
Yes, into our lives.
Finding a way for them to coexist.
Exactly. It's recognizing that both paths lead us toward a deeper understanding of ourselves and our place in the universe.
Okay.
And the Source poses a question directly to the listener.
All right.
How can you embody both Christ consciousness and Buddha nature
In my daily life.
in your daily life?
That's a big question.
It is a big question.
And honestly, kind of intimidating.
I get that.
Like, how do we even begin to reconcile
Right.
these seemingly opposite concepts?
Well, the Source acknowledges
Okay.
that it is the ultimate spiritual challenge.
Oh.
To love deeply without clinging, to care without controlling,
Yeah.
to be present without grasping.
It's a delicate balance.
It is.
So we're not trying to become Christ or Buddha,
Right.
but we're trying to embody the qualities they represent.
Yes. To tap into that universal consciousness through love and presence,
Yeah.
while simultaneously embracing the impermanence of life.
My brain is doing backflips right now,
You know, it's a lot.
trying to process all this.
Take a deep breath.
It's okay.
So it's like we're being challenged to like actually live out our spirituality, not just think about it.
Yeah, to see every interaction and every challenge as an opportunity
Yeah.
to practice these principles.
What I think is so cool about this
Yeah.
is that it doesn't require us to like join a specific religion.
Or follow all these rules.
It's about recognizing the potential
Yeah.
that exists within each of us, no matter like our background or beliefs.
It's more about personal transformation
Yes.
than anything else.
It's not about seeking validation from others
Right.
or achieving some spiritual like status symbol.
It's about embodying these qualities within ourselves.
So we can live more authentically
Yeah.
and contribute to a more compassionate world.
This whole deep dive has been like a total mind opener for me.
I know, me too.
It's like giving me a whole new perspective
Yeah.
on what it means to be spiritual. What about you?
Oh, man. So many things are resonating with me, but I think what stands out the most is that this potential for awakening is already within us.
Yeah.
Like, it's not something we have to go out and search for or like struggle and strive to attain.
It's already there.
It's about cultivating awareness,
Mm-hmm.
making those conscious choices,
Yeah.
and practicing these principles.
Moment by moment.
Moment by moment.
Yeah, and that's really empowering.
It is.
So if you're feeling inspired by this conversation,
Yeah.
we encourage you to take that challenge from the source to heart. What's one small step that you can take today
Yeah.
to practice either unconditional love or non-attachment?
Even for just a moment.
Maybe it's offering a kind word to a stranger,
Yeah.
or letting go of a grudge,
Or just like
or just taking a moment.
taking a moment to appreciate the beauty of right now, this
Yeah.
present moment.
Every little choice we make
Right.
can help us embody the essence of Christ and Buddha.
Within ourselves.
Until next time, keep diving deep
Yeah.
and explore that potential that's within you.
Yeah.